Hey everybody, it's Michael from Songs Inc. Today I'm going to show you how to take an instrumental track from the Songs Inc. website, load it into Garageband, and set up a microphone setup so you can record a scratch melody to write lyrics to later. So the first thing I do is I go to the Songs Inc. website and I found a track that inspired me. I downloaded it here to my desktop, and then I go to Garageband. Now I'm going to open up the basic setup and show you a few things that I set up to make it easy to do the scratch melodies. Okay, it'll ask me new project. I'm going to choose loops. We're not using loops, but this gives me a blank page called Melody Scratch. Oops. And I'm going to save it in that folder. Okay. Now I don't need this loop section, so you right here where the I is, the information track info section, you're going to double click that and it'll give you a blank page. So next thing I do is I go get the instrumental track, which is right here on my desktop, and I drag it in the program and I let go. And it automatically creates a instrumental audio track. So that was very simple. Now I take my mouse and I take the audio file and I drag it back to the beginning of the timeline, which is this section up here. It's set to beats and measures, which is what you want. And if yours isn't, you go down here and you change it in this area. Right here it's measures, that's what mine's on. If it's time, it gives you seconds, but for our purposes, measures is going to be best. So then the volumes, this is the output volume of the whole song. This is the volume of the actual instrumental track. So when you have 3 or 4 vocals in here and a music track as well like this, you can change the volumes of each individual track to create your own little mix. So I'm setting my volumes for what I need for today's tutorial. Okay. Now if you hit play, this is the play button right here, you're going to hear the music here. And the play button is also a stop button. Okay, this button here is the loop button, which we will not need today. It cycles the music back and forth. And the other button we will need is the record button, which is this one right here. Now, this here is the playhead. And wherever you set that in the timeline over the audio, when you hit play, it will start from that point. And that's important for what we're going to do as well today. Right there. Okay. Now, the next thing I do at this stage, I've listened to my audio track a bunch of times, and I figure out where I think my verses are going to be, where I think my choruses are going to be, solos, whatever. And I make notes on a piece of paper of the bars where I think my verse is going to be. Like in this song, bar 8 is where my first verse is going to fall. So if I go back a bit and I listen, that's where my verse is going to fall. So I wrote that down. Bar 8 is my first verse. And then I went down through the track and I found the next section, my first chorus, I decided was going to be about bar 19. Like that. So I went through the song and made notes of all those points, because when I do my vocals, I can move to those sections quicker and just start recording vocals over those pieces, which you will see later in the tutorial here. Okay, so that right there is basically how you dump in the audio. I'm going to stop this here and do a second tutorial on how you set up the vocal mic tracks and record the vocal pieces.